Good afternoon and welcome to welcome to the Family in Times of Quarantine Talk. The American Red Cross Regional Delegation of the Americas is pleased to be able to share with all of you a space of knowledge and reflection aimed at psychosocial support. Within the framework of the quarantine that resulted from COVID-19, health authorities in many countries of the region and the world have ordered a quarantine which has changed the daily dynamics of millions of people. For today's talk, we are accompanied by Dr. Norma Brito, clinical psychologist with more than 30 years of experience, faculty member in USCR University of Costa Rica, and supervisor of the family therapy program Hold Me Tight. During the talk, you will be able to write your questions in the video chat, and at the end, we will have a question session with Dr. Brito. So before starting, I invite you to share this video so that this information can reach more and more people. Good afternoon, Dr. Brito. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting me and give me this opportunity to get to so much homes around the world.
Thank you for your time.
When they asked me to talk about family in quarantine, it was really a wonderful opportunity because we have been seeing a lot of families stressed out because of this pandemic. At first, a lot of families were stressed out. What? How can we are going to survive at home? Everyone there, all by our own. Finally, a lot of families realized that the experience was less difficult than they believed. And that just because there has passed a lot of time where families had the chance to stay together for so long. So we have different experiences, and I am going to try to talk about what I have seen during this 4 months of pandemic and families and couples in quarantine. And what I have found out is that some families have realized that they enjoy being together and spending time together much more than they expected. They never got a chance to be from the morning through the night, next day, and a lot of time together. People are developing new skills that they didn't have. And what makes this a wonderful experience is the chance to have flexibility. When you have flexibility and you lower your expectations and try to enjoy what you have at this time, things can go fluidly in a different way. But when people stress out and they want to have the house all arranged and go after the kids, please organize this, please organize that, when you were working, studying, and trying to make everything at home. Some had huge places to stay and different places to go. Others had small apartments where they need to hold the family and get the best to enjoy and have their best chance to do whatever they need to do all the day long. This is nice at a certain point, but when it became so much during so many months, this has stressed out a lot of people because having the kids at home trying to make the homework was really nice at the beginning, but after weeks and months of quarantine, we are subject of frustration, losing our temper, finding out that sometimes being together at home, mom, dad, kids, is not that easy because everyone needs to do a work. Kids usually enjoy at the first time having mom and dad at home, but usually when they have mom and dad at home, mom and dad were playing or were around, not working. So the first thing hard for parents was to explain their kids that even though they are at home, they are not as available as they used to be when they were at home on the weekends, because this is something special and we receive permission from our works to work at home or work from home. And for them, it's difficult not to interrupt, not to go into a meeting. One of these days, I have a patient that was having a meeting with important people in the enterprise she works, and her two kids just come along and mommy, and she was like, it was really difficult for her because instead of saying, excuse me, this is really hard here working from home and having this serious meeting with my kids here. Wait a minute, I just stand up and say, come on, can you help me with the kids? Close the door, and that's it. She was so stressed out that she began making uh, faces uh, in the camera. She was trying to not disturb the meeting, but she was already stressed out. She lost the path of her talk at that moment. And these are times where flexibility is really important. People all around the world had the same trouble at home, having to be a mom, a teacher, a dad, a teacher, helping at home, everyone as one, because we need to stand up to the standards to be healthy and stop this spreading of the pandemic. And the only way is really to stay at home. And staying at home is hard sometimes right now. And it's hard because most of the couples are trying to hold things and work through what they have to do. But live, work, teach, and play is a hard combination to reach in a balanced way. So, what begins to happen is that one of the partners just feel that I'm so overwhelmed. I have to do most of the things. And the other one possibly feels I'm trying to keep up, but never is enough for her or for him. And this hard experience of being judged all the time and trying to do everything the best we can without getting the approval, the security, and this sense of I am recognized and respected for what I am trying to do. There is a lack of this sometimes at home. And even though we are stuck there trying to do our best, we are not taking the time to talk about how are we feeling? How are we going to deal with this? This is not something we are prepared to, and we need to find a time to just stop, set some rules, and for that, you need to sit down with your partner and arrange what is the organization that we need. And please, if we are a little OCD, these are not times for that at home. where we are trying to set small places to study, to work. And of course, it's going to be so difficult to see our houses in the order that we used to have before. So, again, flexibility is an excellent tool for understanding and finding a balance in the family. When you feel that you are too stressed out, please, here is a nice space for communication. You need to stop and you need to communicate how you're feeling. It's important that you understand that other people around make suppositions and they really don't know how you feel. And if someone is just nagging because let's do this, let's do that, just with love and care, turn your side to that person and please tell her, I'm trying my best and this is going to be for long. So I need you to stop nagging because I cannot deal with hearing you all day calling names to the kids or trying to put things in order or finding out the way the kids can help you. And yelling around is not helping the kids to understand and obey, and is not helping in the relationship with us because I find hard to see the woman I love when you're doing that, or it's so hard to find the man I went in love with when you are so distant and so separate and so disconnected from all the work we have to do. I really need you close. And these are times for talking about connection. Connection is the most important thing we need to accomplish in our lives as parents, as friends, as workers and co-workers, as parents, is, you know, when you take the time to connect with other people, that bond strengthens our ability to do things better. Because when we connect, we can see care, love, approval, support. And sometimes you can see disapproval. And then you're going to face it and you're going to just say, you know, I am handling this the best I can. This is not easy for me. I know parents that they have never played with their children and they say, I don't know how to do that. I can teach them, but that playing is like wasting my time and I don't know how to play. And for those parents, this is difficult because they become upset easily, they become frustrated easily, and they tend to express their frustration and their anger with words, with expressions, with non-verbal communication, and that goes right into the kids' heart and mind, making them feel that they are not accepted and loved how they are. And we all in our world need to feel that we are loved and accepted the way we are. We need to work things through in order to get a balance in our lives. We are not set to engage just easily at the first time. We need to work things out in order to be really a team. a team that work together, a team that plan together, a team that enjoy time together. And I can realize that some things are really hard because kids lose their habits and they are not sleeping at the time they used to. They are not waking up at the hour we used to. Everything at home becomes a little difficult and different because we run out of schedules. And one recommendation is please try to keep your lives as usual as you have them in the past. If you have an hour to wake up, you wake up at that hour. You have your breakfast. If kids want um, to play in their bedroom, they can do that. Mom and dad need to work and they can go into their works. And the kids need to understand, kids, from this hour to this, I need just a moment. Can you play a little between you? And when the clock is in this hour, I am going to come back to you. I will check on you from moment to moment, but I really need to have the time to do my work because when I am not able to do that, I become so upset that you see that I am angry and I am not really angry. What I am is frustrated because I understand that you're kids and you need another kind of attention from me, but I cannot give it at this time because I really have to work because we are really in a difficult situation. Most kids understand if you speak out loud with love and care and you express with your whole body and with your heart what is going on. Because consideration is something that we teach our kids to have. And we need to be in a good connection with our partner. So he back up us and you back up him in order for the kids to understand that is one way of doing things. And this is mom and dad saying, we need to do this and that. We need to respect what they have said. So let's do it this way. Kids are going to try to manipulate, and they are so tired of doing things virtually. I have interviewed so many families along this month that the kids are like, I want to go back to school. I miss my school. I miss my friends. I want to do that. I'm bored at home. Even though they try to do things, it's not the same. I miss what I have. And I think that right now, kids, younger ad- adolescents are going, teenagers are going to go back to schools feeling, oh, finally, I could come again. This was a part of my life I never valued the way I'm doing it right now. And most of us have enjoyed seeing our kids grow at home and knowing how they do their effort to stay in class. But also, we have a chance to value the great work of the teachers that they do this work for us, for our family, for our kids. And it's wonderful. And when we try to teach them, it's not the same because everyone study what they want and what is naturally fluid in them. Some of us has this wonderful experience of choosing a career that you love. And teaching is a career that you need to love in order to work with kids. Teach them, find out the way to reach their minds and their hearts to make them enjoy what they are studying. And maybe at this time, we need also to look to our partner and realize, we have been working so hard here that we miss ourselves. I don't know how long has been since we talk about how are we feeling. I don't keep record, but I think that we haven't made love in a long time because everything has changed so much that we don't find the moment to reach out for the other and just enjoy the company and find a time for us to enjoy each other, to cuddle up at the bed or at the sofa, seeing a movie. We need to take time for everything at this moment. Couples that didn't take the time for the relationship began to suffer more disconnection. And you know that when we have conflicts, we have this reaction: attack, fight, eh, attack or fight, freeze or and fly. And these reactions are hardly felt by the other person, because when you're trying to do your best and the other one became frustrated and just said that couple things that hurt you so much, and then you have two possibilities or three possibilities. You fight back, and the things sometimes get worse at the moment, but you both express out what you're feeling. Or what happened is that one attack and the other fly, and he or she moves away and keep distance because I don't like things this way. I'm not going to talk this way. And this make the couple disconnect and make them realize we are not getting along really well now. So she better stay there and I'm going to stay here. And just tell me what you need from me and I'm going to do it. But I don't want to argue anymore. You know, arguing is not the problem. The problem is the level and the tone of the argument. We all couples discuss and argue about different things, but at moments when we are in crisis and we are stressed out, sometimes you speak out loud things that you feel and you don't organize really well, and you express them not in the nicest way. So instead of making an approach to explain how I'm feeling, the other person feels attacked, defends herself, really doesn't pay attention and really didn't hear what you are saying. And sometimes this is the most speakable thing because we grow far apart. And even though there is love, there is no connection. There is no way to reach for the other and find a secure base, a secure space where the couple can sit and talk and find out a solution together. Because here, this is important. We are here together. We need to do things together. And people that by personality want to be a little more lonely find this quarantine really hard because they can be with the family a little at night, but they don't enjoy that much to have so many people around asking and demanding attention, permissions, time, and they get upset, they get mad. And there are also a lot of families that grow in violence when they are in quarantine. And there are a group of people that are helping with that. We have also a group that is helping with the troubles that are coming up in families during quarantine because we know that it's hard. And sometimes we don't have the means or the knowledge to come close and talk in a nice way to the other in order to find out how can we deal with this. Other issues that come through now in quarantine are situations that were there before, but the couple was not trying to face them. They were just working and doing their things. But now in the quarantine, they find out sometimes that he was chatting with someone or she was chatting with someone. And because we are using the same equipments, telephones, computers, iPads, and everything is there. A lot of crises have flourished from that sharing of that technology. We are all in the same place. We need to talk about those things. And what I really, really, really recommend, please, is to stop, clear your mind, regulate yourself, think twice what you have to say. You don't need to say it before thinking it. You cannot say what you think. You need to think what you say. Please. Because if you think twice, then you're going to express better what you're feeling and what you're needing. I know that we have different needs along the time. I know that. I know that it's difficult to change our life, to have our world upside down and enjoy that. This is not something that we are enjoying. This is something we are adapting to. And everyone at home is trying to adapt to this new change, to this new state of things that is not easy and is not fun all the time. And when peaks in pandemia go up, like here in Costa Rica today, we need to stay calm and to reassure that we need to do an extra work in order to be healthy and don't spread the pandemia because we are so tired and we are so upset that we need to run and go and move around and make meetings and do things because we need people around and that is okay. But try to work out things together. Families are for support, but sometimes now that we are called to stay at home, families reduce a little because we cannot count maybe on grandparents for them to take care of the kids because they are not living close and is a risk to go to them. And those nice moments that we used to have when we go out for dinner and enjoy a glass of wine or go and grab a coffee in the afternoon, all those things that make us rest and look for calm and tranquility are gone at this moment. And that leave us with little, small, little pleasures that we used to have that were means and ways to discard this tension from work, from daily lives, from the family demands, and they are all together. So, against what's going on, we cannot win. looking for the chance to find a way of re-experience this in a different way, I think that right now is the way. Try to go back to playing games with the kids at night, or sometimes if we have time in the afternoon. Try to organize our lives around different tasks and homeworks that we have all at home, because we are all a team, and everyone in home, in our house, has a different function, a different role, and we are grateful for the work that each of us put in the house, even though it is pick up the toys. If they do that, they are helping out. Everyone needs to feel that they are important there and that they are doing something worthy for us. So find out, having a close or a nice connection, expressing ourselves in what our needs are, telling also people we love how we dislike some things, and we really need them to stop doing them, because it's hard enough at this time dealing with what we have to deal in order to accept behaviors that we are saying, please stop it. And it has to begin with a couple, with the parents, with the grandparents if they live all together. I know that when there is an extended family, sometimes coordinating things is more difficult, because parents had things one way and they like it this way, and grandparents like things in a different way. They have different objectives with kids in life. Some grandparents say that grandkids are for us to enjoy, and parents are the one in charge of educate, of give the kids the skills they need. But when we live together, we need, in order to survive, to respect one another. And in order to respect one another, we need to listen to one another and realize what's going on, what do we need, and how are we going to deal with this. Little moments where we are there, where we feel, finally, I think that I understand you. That is important. Find the way to understand what's going on with the members of your family. Try to understand that teenagers are really angry. They are really angry because they lose their friends, they lose the little freedom that they have to go to the gym, to enjoy with a girl, to do different things, to have fun in the class, even though they were studying. And some of them have reached their sixth grade or fifth grade, depending on the country, and and they have to have their graduations virtually. And even though they are nice, they are not what they expect and work for so many years. They were expecting their dance, their party, the friends, the peers all around, and they don't have that. And and parents didn't realize how hard is this for those kids not to see their girlfriend or the boyfriend. And you know, we were once teenagers, and this is really difficult for them, and they don't need us here in the top of their neck, just putting pressure and expecting and demanding, do this, do that, please help me with the kids, help me with the. So many things have changed. So many things need to change. But first of all, love is what counts. And when we love each other, we respect each other. And respect for the little, the medium, the bigger is important. Listen to your kids. Ask them how they feel. Try to understand that behind their behaviors, there are feelings not told. And look for them. Make them express how they feel. Because normally, kids and teenagers act out their feelings, what is known as acting out. Instead of expressing what they are feeling, they act their feelings. And most of the time, we get angry with them because that is not the proper way to express themselves. And finally, we understand them because we're feeling a little like them. And I want every person that is listening to understand that it's normal to feel asphyxiated. It's normal to feel angry. It's normal to get upset. It's normal to get frustrated. But we need to handle those feelings in a different way. We cannot repress or suppress our feelings. We need to express them. The moment we suppress or minimize our feelings, the moment you begin to get sick and you begin to get into trouble in relationships because people cannot imagine or guess what's going on inside each of you. So you need to make an extra effort if that is not your personality to put in words what's going on, to express out what you're feeling about what's going on. And even though we cannot fix things, we can feel that we are listened and understood. And for those who had these personalities that you need to fix it all, a time to understand, a time to learn, a time to change, because we cannot fix everything. We can try to handle things in a better way, but sometimes you need to accept the things that you cannot change. And we have a lot trouble doing that. I know that most of us is giving our best. So please be able to recognize what each of one at home is doing. Be grateful. Be grateful with them for what they do and talk about how proud you are of their patience, their behavior, holding things up the way they have been trying. We have kids from preschool doing their homeworks at home, the kids in second, third, fourth grade trying hard with a computer to learn. And there is something that they describe now as Zoom fatigue. And Zoom fatigue is like when you are so many hours in front of a computer computers doesn't have the clarity that we have in real life. And then they describe that the 80% of our communication as human beings is related to human, to body language. And when we are with a computer, with an iPad, with a telephone, we cannot see the body language and read it as well as we do when we are physically present. And that makes the brain make an extra effort. And for the kids, it's harder because they had to stay there and put attention. And they are like this and sit down properly, please. And they're like, because it's so tired just to see the computer that their brains are tired and they disconnect. So when you see a kid that is having trouble to stay with a computer in the class, please take into consideration that maybe this kid needs to move around, to jump a little, to do different things. We can get over to the homework later, but we need to understand that not every human being has the ability to learn 2 hours or 3 hours in the computer, sit down properly, paying attention. And I know that we can feel they have to. It's not the same to be in the classroom with 10 or 20 friends or peers around doing different things and enjoying in a different way the class than being alone at home, trying to understand and read what's going on in other people's faces, and at the same time paying attention to the content of the study. So we need to stay calm. We need to take things into consideration, and we need to talk to them and explain them how are we feeling about certain things, and ask them, please ask the kids, how are they feeling? Ask your couple, how are you feeling? How are you dealing with this? Maybe we need to take turns because we both enjoy a long hot bath and then we don't have time now. Okay, I take care of the kids. You get your bath today. I'm getting mine tomorrow. So you're going to be in charge of the kids so we can have time alone by each other. Because even though we need time for each other as a couple, also we are used to have time alone with each of us. An hour of silence for reading a book, for playing a game, to play with the phone. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But all of us need free time too. And this is not an army. And we cannot go and do things with a lot of discipline and order because these are not times that facilitate this. We need to order and to organize our houses because if not, we cannot live. But remember, flexibility is important. And one of the things that uh, happen more is that there are common disagreements between organization, when to do things, and who is going to do what. Spending time, sometimes mothers want dads to spend more time with the kids, and dads are like, hold it. I am going to find the time for the kids, but I don't want you to tell me what do I have to do with my kids and when. And that triggers a lot of problems between couples. When mother and dad had expectations about how the mother has to be and how the father has to be, you know, we need to talk things through and to leave a little freedom to everyone to just develop their own skills and their own way to be mom and dad. Some people at home are having more work and some are taking more work because they don't like the way the other handle things. So if I do the work I was assigned, but you dislike the way I have done it and you make it over, the teenager is not going to do that next week. They okay, if I never do right things for you, go and do it. Don't let me waste my time because I don't want to do that. You have to learn how to do it. Okay, I know. And I care. And I am that kind of person too. But this time are not times to put more tension and pressure upon our family. It's time to get around and move and find different ways to get the work done. Couples ask themselves or ask each other, are we okay? And sometimes it's like, okay, we are not fighting, so we are okay. And right now, this is not what I really want, but is what I already have. And that doesn't mean I have to conform myself with that. I can work things through and I can find a time where we can enjoy different things together. Sometimes the only thing that we want is to sleep through without being disturbed. Whole 8 hours. And if one of the couple needs that, it would be really nice for the other one to consider that and to make that happen. We need to share responsibilities. We need to be in charge of our family, but we need to take care of each other. And the only way to take care for each other is to express ourselves and say what we need, what we wonder, and what we are willing to give in order to make things better. When stress comes into the family, we are going to begin to fight for small, stupid things that piled up and make our lives a disaster. And we cannot run away. We cannot go anywhere now. So we need to learn to deal with troubles in a different way. And my counsel is try to stop before you fight. Try to put in words what is going on. Face each other and hold your hands and try to remember how you were. What do you want in life? And go for it together. No one giving orders to the other, just sitting down, self regulating yourselves, calming down. And when you are in the mood, sit down and talk. Talk about everything that is bothering you inside with respect, with a good tone, and in simple words, without judging, without blaming. We need each of you, or each of us need to take responsibility for their actions or their lack of actions that maybe had that person we love in that situation. So, in order to get along in a different way in our family, we need to change some patterns of behavior and to change some patterns of communication. And for that, Sue Johnson says that we need for connection to stay ARE, accessible, responsive, and emotionally engaged. If you if you remember R, be accessible for each other, that when you are reached by your couple, by your friend, by your mother, by your kids, try to be accessible at that moment where you are reached, when the other person is saying, I need you. And please, being accessible is the first one. Respond in a nice way, in a connected way, is really valuable, because then whoever is looking for you is going to find that you are there and you care. And you care because you listen and you see and you're expressing back or giving what they are asking from you. And in that act, you are emotionally involved because you are there for them. This is so valuable that if you practice this, you are not going to repent, never. Okay? This is going to be worthy for life. And Levine also expressed that there are five foundational elements that secure relationships. And here they call that CARP. And I am going to share for a moment my screen for you to see those 5 things. Consistency, you need to know that that person is going to respond and be there all the way through, not that one day is and the other is not there. Consistency is one of the pillars of secure relationships. Availability, as I just told, that is the same of as a accessibility. You are available for the other person when they need it. The message is, I am here for you. If you need me, you can reach for me and I am going to be there. Reliability. I need to have confidence that you are reliable and that if I ask you something, you're going to get through that and you're not going to disappoint me. Responsiveness, as I say. If you're really for me, are you going to come and be here with me or give me what I am asking, I am needing from you at this moment? And predictability, that is that I need to know that even though the hardest times are coming, you are predictable. I can imagine that in this situation, you're going to do this and that. When we know enough the other person and we can predict how he's going to respond to us, this is going to give us much more security. And when you feel secure, you feel safe. And when you're secure and safe, you feel at home and you feel really understood, loved, and connected. And this is what we want families to feel, families to hold, families to work for. Because we have one life and we need to live it through enjoying each moment of the way, not only the place we want to reach, we need to enjoy the journey. And some people are not enjoying the journey of being part of a family and growing and facing troubles and solving them and grow up as a family together, as a couple that has went through so many things that now it feels like we are almost one, not because we lose who we were, but because we build who we are. And we have done that with a lot of effort and work along the years. And I here and here is I I hear I move out from sharing the screen here. Sorry. And I want to show a little something here. If you can fly, then run. If you can run, then walk. If you can walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving. This is something I want you all to keep in mind because we need to be happy with what we have. We need to do things in a different way now, and we need to enjoy our lives together. Most, most, the better. And I don't know if we can move on into questions if people that is connected here with us want um, to share some of their maybe thoughts or questions with us. No? Um, okay, then I move a little on here and maybe talk a little more about conflicts in our families. Um, maybe in couples that we don't really understand when there are, for example, some things that are being difficult during quarantines are problems with fidelity. When we have trouble with fidelity, with infidelity, is hard because we don't have the time to talk truly about this. I really recommend that when problems like this are triggered, please find out the way to look for help. Because when you feel offended that way by your partner, this makes really difficult to do things in a different way. And most of the time, what happened is that all the hurts that you have come up and you remember maybe being mistreated or misloved, and that hurts a lot. That triggers behaviors that are not really healthy. And in moments like this, where we don't have anywhere to run, to talk, maybe your friends are also with their families around, and I find out that there are no places to go. Some couples need to have, for example, their sessions in their cars, in the garage, because it's the only place they can find to be together without being disturbed by the kids or disconnect from demands of the world at that moment. We need to really do different things right now. Zoom meetings with friends is a good thing. Sometimes we need to really find out what what can make us a little more happy and help us to just take out that stress. Some of you cannot even exercise because places for exercise were closed or they are open in a schedule, and sometimes with work it's difficult to really know when you're going to end your work, and you lose your appointment to do your exercise. I think that also part of being a good team is finding out if you can do healthy food at home, trying not too many food from outside. Try to make things at home together. Cooking with a couple is a nice thing. And also trying to help the kids to come to the kitchen and, you know, bake, prepare some things together. No matter it's not that nice or beautiful, what is important is the experience of doing things together again. Also, it's important to exercise together. If you can jump or you can roll around and do different things, a little cardio, is important to maintain a healthy lifestyle. That means food, that means exercise, and that means dealing with the stress in a different way. I think that that is going to help a lot with everyone around. Taking turns to do this is important. Sometimes we cannot do everything at the same time. So let's find out who is enjoying the things that you enjoy and try to do that with this kid or your wife or your husband. You don't have to do everything, but you have to do things for yourself. And I don't know how many people now is taking the time to really enjoy things by themselves. I know there, there is no time for this, but we need to find out how to do that. Meeting with the friends is so nice. Celebrating birthdays in the family, in Zoom, with everyone around, maybe everyone having lunch or breakfast or dinner, and everyone at home, but you are joking and you're talking about different things. Like when you sit in a big table and you talk and talk all the afternoon as we used to do long time ago, I think that we can do that by Zoom now. And the experiences that people are sharing are really nice. Kids are enjoying in families. They also got their piñata and grab the, they dump the piñata and they take the caramels and all that. Is really nice. It's really nice to do things in a different way and don't miss, like now, for example, the Father's Day, don't miss that day. Plan to do that day in a different way. Enjoy doing things with each other. Family ties are difficult. Sometimes we only hear that maybe the grandparents of our kids, our parents, are asking for us to go by or to do something different. Try to plan to do something so everyone in the extended family can feel important too. For a lot of grandparents around the world, these have been moments of sadness and sometimes depression because they feel so lonely. And something I haven't talked about is when you're at home and you have a lot of people around and you still feel lonely and you still feel you are not understood. Times of quarantine carry on a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. Anxiety and depression are sicknesses that aid you if you let them, and you need to take control of them. There are methods to deal with anxiety, and you can practice yoga, relaxation. It helps a lot when you relax, when you practice mindfulness, and when you're practicing mindfulness and feel, let yourself feel and try to understand and feel and live things in a different way, you can hold the sad emotions. You can try to understand them and reverse that feeling, finding out how much you thank for in life. Being positive and having gratitude are two things that help a lot people in life to move on, to enjoy life, and to find out a different sense in life that they haven't had. I would love if you can try to remember a good moment in life, the one that you cherish and you love the most. And close your eyes and go there and experience those feelings that you have at that moment. I don't know if they were happiness, feeling connected, feeling understood, just free on open air, hearing the water, or listening to the birds, just a place where you can feel that you're safe and secure and you can enjoy that moment and feel the peace that it brings. This is part of an exercise that when you're upset, when you're frustrated, you can try because it will calm you down. We don't want people to get sick. Being under stress or in small spaces can make depression worse, can increases panic attacks, anxiety crisis, irritability, because the sense of impotence grows within us. And then we need this urgency to move on. And sometimes you cannot move on. You need to understand what's going on, stop those feelings, cut that stress, and finally take the decision to change the way you're handling things in order to things to happen in a different way. I am going to ask you to remember that moment in life where you have felt safe and secure and hold it for you. Try to remember to whom you used to go when you feel unsafe or when you feel that you were threatened by life and you were so worried that you become so little and so anxious and you believed that you couldn't make it, but finally you made it. You need to go to memories in life where you gain access to control your life, to gain happiness, to be free from guilt and worries. Because sometimes we feel really guilty of not being the best version of us. And what I would say is, please try. If you try to do your best, you're going to get the best. But if you keep holding yourself back and judging yourself for the things you have done wrong and trying to do things in a different way, you're going to lose a lot of things. And I don't think that that is going to be good for anyone of you, not at all. So please try to do something different now. Try to find out if something you always want to do and never had the time to do is open in line. It's open online. And maybe now you have the chance to do that nicely. Finally, finally, you can take some classes on some topic that you love and you didn't have the time. And, and now maybe between hours of work and sharing at home, you can find a time for that. Company is important. Also, we need to remember those members of the family that are alone. There are people in our family that they don't live with a couple or they don't live nicely with a couple they have, or we have friends. Let's go to them too, and let's try to visit by Zoom with them and and share the experiences. I have the opportunity to talk to someone that was feeling really lonely. She's a doctor in other country, and she is by her own. She is alone. She has a lot of work, and with all the restrictions of going along in life, she find out that she was more lonely than she expected. And she began to reconnect with old friends. And it has been a wonderful experience to know that when you once loved one person and you cherish the moment you share with them, there is a connection there and you can pick up the relationship where you left it if you're willing to give a little of yourself. In these times, solidarity, loyalty, happiness have been discovered again. A lot of people is finding out that we are working together in the world just as a big family does. And when we recognize how much our planet Earth has recovered from this pandemic, because climate is changing. Animals are coming back to our woods and to our homes when we have a little green around. These are experiences to cherish with the kids too. Try to find out the joy of small things we have around. A dog to hold, a, a bird you can see singing around, a nest with little birds, a squirrel going around. I think that right now there are so much things that we can see differently, that we need to take this opportunity to do things better for all of us. Try to give everyone around a better place to be, to stay, to work. Let's see around and find out, not only in our families, but as part of our world, friends, people at work that couldn't find a different way to live or a moment to talk with someone else. Find out if we can do a little of work trying to give ourselves to activities that we don't use to do. Change is important in families. Teach our kids to change, to adapt, to enjoy change is important. This has been one of the difficult things in these times. People were so happy with what they were doing and how they were doing it that when they need to change their lives, the period of adjustment has us paid a price. Now we can take this in our advantage and try to do things differently. Families are smaller now because 50 years ago, families were much more bigger. Now they are smaller, and we have uncles, we have nieces, we have nephews, we have people around, aunts, that need to connect also with us. I think that these are times to find out where are the people that we used to see when we grow up. What happened with them? Sometimes on the weekends that we cannot go out, we can maybe navigate a little and find out a friend from the past and say, hi, how are you? And find out little pieces of ourselves. Because some of my patients had shared that during these moments, some friends of the past had reached them or made a group. Hey, how are you doing? We are here. We're doing this. We're doing that. And that opens a way of finding deeper feelings that we don't cherish anymore because we don't have time for too much people. We have time for the family, and sometimes we have not enough time for them. So, as Levine says, try to practice the love you hold and find the time and the way to feel comfortable with your own life. Your life is one. You have a chance to live it through. 10 years from now, this is going to be a memory that we can share and hold and explain the kids and in 20 years how we get through COVID-19 pandemic that changed the world in an instant, that changed the way we love, that changed the way we hold each other, that changed the way we work. I know a lot of places that they would never accept working from home. And this period of time just teaches us that, yes, we can work from home. Yes, we can enjoy some moments in family when we are working from home if we get organized and we can find a way to connect if we can take the time to ask, to believe in ourselves and in the ones that we love at home. Don't be afraid of sharing the feelings you have. Sometimes we have been through a lot of fear, and this fear, accepted and recognized, can make us strong. Because when we recognize what we feel, and we accept who we are reaching a top point in our security. And I would love if this pandemic could help more and more people to be more safe and secure. For kids, having the chance to see their parents working has been a nice opportunity too, because they realize how many hours mom and dad has to sit and work. And I know that there is a lot of work at home too. But when they share that, they say, really, this is a long way. We have a lot of work to do. And I've never recognized how much my parents were giving to us every day as they work, as they wake up in the morning, take care of us, help us through the day, help us with the homeworks, put us to bed. Try to find a moment of reflection with your kids. Try to find a moment in the week where all of you sit together around the fire, around the table in the kitchen, and take turns to talk about small things, big things. Teach everyone at home how important it is to listen to what's going on inside you, to speak what's going on inside you. Because when you learn to share, you are two steps ahead a lot of people. Not in many places, not in many homes, they teach to talk, to share, to enjoy the changes, and to adapt yourself again. So, really, let's try to see this pandemic as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to change.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for that great class today. We just have one question from the public, and they are asking how can they make sure they have a better family relationship, given that during these times everyone in the house is a little bit tense. Uh, how would you suggest this person approaches that situation?
I I just share a little of activities that we can enjoy in family, and nothing is going to change in families if we don't change the way we interact with each other. We need to ask about what's going on with each of the members of the family. We need to give them space to reflect on what they think and express what they believe is going on. And I would love if parents can make kids express themselves from the bottom of their hearts. I know sometimes it's difficult, but most of parents never ask their small kids, how are you? Are you happy? What do you want to do now? Are you upset? What makes you upset? What's going on? What do you want to do? I want to do that. And what's going on? We can't do that anymore, Dad, because we are stuck here at home. And just try to go along the path of their thinking, because then they are going to do things in a better way. And family is going to meet if we have the chance to connect. to connect with each other, playing the games the kids want, making the kids understand what you like to do, and taking turns because each one in the family has an opportunity to do what they love and like and make other people in the family enjoy with them.
Okay, that's great advice. Thank you very much. Well, just so you know, we had around 150 people through different media listening and looking at us today. So you know that 150 families now know what to do right now and have a better relationship during these times. We had people from 6 different countries, and just so everyone knows, I'd like to remind you that you, after this video is over, in around an hour, 2 hours, we will have this video on the channel for you to rewatch it or share it. And as well, now we have the opportunity for you to listen to all of our programs in our podcast channel in Spotify. You can find us as LAC Delegation American Red Cross in Spotify. So, Doctor, thank you very much for this time. Thank you very much for these beautiful words that you gave us and great lesson that we had today. Thank you so
Thank you.
much to all of you that were listening and looking at us. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I definitely enjoyed it a lot. And thank you very much for the technical team that made sure this connection is happening right now. I hope everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy it, spend time with family, and have a happy Father's Day to all those fathers and mothers, uncles, and well, you know the rest. Thank you very much. See you
Thank you.
around.
Thank you.